All right, it must be another night for NYCFC Views Live. New York City playing host to Inter Miami on Sunday at Yankee Stadium. Enough said, but we'll have a whole lot more coming up over the next 45 minutes or so.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. NYCFC Views.
Collins approaches the shot, and New York City wins the first MLS Cup on their first try, and they're going crazy. Tiene tiro y gol! Gol! New York City es el campeón de Major League Soccer.
The sickest New York City FC podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Hello. I'm Glenn. There's Roberto. And we're just hanging out on a Friday night. You know, many of you are out and about, maybe somewhere in downtown Manhattan, perhaps in East Brunswick, New Jersey. Who knows where you are? But anyway, we're indoors, and we're looking forward to outdoors in the Bronx on Sunday. Roberto, how are you? What's happening? What's going on?
I'm doing fine. Good to be on the air with you here via streaming. Is it right to say on the air if we're...
Oop, your audio just went off. Did your cat come back into the fray? I can't hear you. Unless that's me. Now,
It's...
Oh, there you are. I hear you now. Oh, now you're not.
It's all me.
Now you're on again.
Now I'm back. Yeah,
Okay.
It's all me.
Alrighty.
And it's the right microphone, too. No, it's like the dongle that I have that connects it to my computer is hypersensitive. And so, like, if I move anything, it just disconnects. So my cats are locked up. So it's not going to be Xena's fault or Titan's fault. If anything screws up on my end, I'm it. It's only me.
Well, it's funny when you came back on, your lips and your voice were not matched, but it kind of slowly melded, and now it seems like it seems like everything's caught up. Well, Roberto, we're I suppose we're happy because we covered this team that's unbeaten. Only Vancouver has scored more goals, and that's based on their rout of Minnesota. Oh my goodness. Vancouver, 14 goals for, 1 against, a perfect 4-0. One other perfect team, it's LAFC. So they're both in the West. And then you got New York City FC and Nashville, who are getting it done in the East. But for the second straight week, top of the table. And, you can't get Pascal to bite on any of this. But I'm telling you, to be able to wake up and see your club at the top, it's 4 weeks in. What are you going to do? It's better than nothing.
Absolutely better than nothing. You prefer to be New York City or Philadelphia right now?
Oh, my God. Well, what is it? Chicago plays Philadelphia tomorrow. And that's a pretty interesting game because, the Union I was just in a pretty extended conversation about them today because I like Bradley Carnell. Mm-hmm. But I've also said to you and maybe on the show and whatever other platform I'm on that, and I've always said this about the Red Bulls, whether it was under Jesse Marsch or Chris Armas, if you're going to play that sort of high-pressing, risky sort of way that the Philadelphia Union, they won the Supporters' Shield last year. But I've always said you can't win an MLS Cup playing that way because the teams, as you get moving forward, are too good. New York City was too good for Philadelphia last year because they had it figured out.
Yeah,
so
100%.
You need to be able to play. I think, and I've always thought this. It's not just because how New York City's looks right now, where they can play in a variety of ways, but those are the teams that are going to win. And you have to have good players too. But those are the teams that are going to win. If you're married to one style, it doesn't seem like it can work, and especially that one.
You've got to be able to adjust on the fly, not only your style, but against who you're playing against as well. I know that we talked about Inter Miami today and, what changes and what doesn't. You have to make adjustments for, your opponent for as much as you want to play your own style. So we'll have to see. If not, then, why bother scouting anybody? So you've got to be able to do that.
Yeah. And the other part of people are saying hello to us. Yes, cheers. I've only got tea. Roberto's got water. Apparently, Corey Clayton's got himself a pint. And
that doesn't look like a pint. That looks like he's got himself a.
Or is that a whiskey?
At least a Jameson. Yeah, he's got at least a Jameson there.
But the other thing about the union, and here's where it comes into play. I mean, a lot of people are saying a lot of different things. They lost too many good players. That's their biggest problem. I mean, so Baribo to score the goals, Glesnes to prevent the goals because they've been poor defensively, and you've got Andre Blake in goal, yes. And then
you also lost Kai Wagner.
Kai Wagner, who when you're getting service like that from the left, not many clubs can get that sort of quality from that side of the field.
Michael Uwa, who maybe wasn't the same player he used to be, right?
Well, he was good for goals off the bench, though. So maybe that's maybe we've got Tyler Magno maybe now to get that done. We'll see. So let's. We got Miami coming up, so we'll spend some time on that. But let's go back to the Colorado game, Roberto, because it was. I thought Colorado was pretty good, but they were also pretty stubborn, as Roberto perhaps will describe, because I don't speak Spanish, and Roberto will translate this for you. Is this the goal that you sent me? Is this the first or the free kick goal?
This is a free kick goal.
All right, so the first goal was scored. We don't have any of our play-by-play on that, but the first goal was scored when Kai Truin was able to step in and on a press with a ball by Rob Holding out of the back, the guy who played for Arsenal, a lot of appearances there, and he just played a poor ball or a poor choice, and Truin was pressing, got it to Fernandez Mercado, shot, rebound, finish, 1-0. 2-0 was off a free kick goal. We don't see many of those, Roberto, but let's hear your commentary first, okay?
All right.
Here we go.
Mercado podría tirar directo en un ángulo difícil, pero podría tirar directo si quisiera. Hay dos hombres en la barrera. Pero también New York City tiene 3 tiros. Aquí viene un disparo. ¡Gol! ¡Lo pudo meter en un ángulo difícil! Fernández Mercado sorprende a Hansen y se rompe la racha de 66 partidos desde el último tiro directo de gol que lo había metido Hannes Wolf en Filadelfia. New York City arriba 2-0.
Y lo advirtió Roberto, podía venir, estaban los dos ubicados, Maxi al lado de Fernández Mercado con mucha malicia, con mucha experiencia, con mucha cancha, termina marcando un golazo que deja mal parados, sorprendidos a la defensa y sobre todo al arquero de Colorado Rapids. Se cuela la pelota al lado del poste con mucho efecto. Golazo de Fernández Mercado.
I can't disagree with that. Where are we? There we are.
There we are.
So what was the gist of all that? We know it was a free kick goal from a severe angle, and I'm going to tell you what my commentary partners said about their wall.
Well, yeah, we talked about it after that segment when Ariel finished. We talked about it, but I didn't want to go. It was already 1:10. I didn't want to go over that. So, yeah, the next comment that we made was the fact that the wall split like the Red Sea, and it was a horrific wall. And when I looked at it,
then go ahead. But Matty Lawrence said that was not a wall created or built by construction workers. It was a wall built by 5-year-olds. So that was
not even
on the fly.
Yeah.
That's what he said. That was great. But go ahead.
Yeah, I had said right at the beginning of that piece, I had said New York, he can shoot from this angle. This is a really good angle to shoot from, and I said he could shoot from here. And sure enough, a second later, he actually did that. But the wall was horrific. It reminded me a little bit of the Pirlo wall. Well, the only goal that he ever scored on a free kick was in the wall basically opened up, and he beat Andre Blake. And that was the only free kick Pirlo scored for New York City.
It didn't remind me of that because this was one of the most pathetic moments of wall defending I have ever seen. You had both players. One turned his back, and two of the young guys. It was I don't have their names in front of me, so I don't want to just stab at it.
Yeah.
I've been diving into Miami, so now I'm forgetting all about Colorado.
Well,
but it was two of
just
young guys,
it, but yeah.
But they completely split. And if the wall held firm, Fernandez Mercado probably doesn't score. Although the way Pascal painted it today in the pregame show, which will air prior to the game on the AM side, the English radio side. Boy, I've got CBS News Radio in my head. What a dark day.
Oh, man, don't even start. I'm sick to my stomach.
Well,
sick to my stomach over that.
Well, it's a bad day for radio, man. I mean,
yeah, I've been listening to the top of the hour CBS News since college. And I based a lot of what I did news-wise, because when I was in college at WBCR in Brooklyn, not only did I do sports, I did music and I did news. And I based a lot of my writing on listening to them and going, wow, that's really good. I've got to do that. And, I'm sick. Just sick.
Okay. I think when we
Let's get back to soccer before I go nuts.
Yeah. So, anyway, so the English radio will have the pregame show, as will the Spanish radio commentary, beginning at 12:45 on Sunday. But that's where Pascal Janssen will come in, and he said it was class, it was brilliance by Fernandez Mercado, and I'm not discounting that for a moment. No. Because he still snuck it inside the post from what was an angle where I don't necessarily agree with you, although I thought he would attempt the shot. That was acute, as they say. And I don't mean C-U-T-E. I mean A-C-U-T-E. You know what I mean?
100%. I mean, the fact that he looked at it, he saw, I mean, I don't know if he knew that the wall was going to split like that, but, whatever it is, it's good to see. And 66 games since Hannes Wolf, and that's in all competitions. So since Hannes Wolf, what was it? May 15th of 2024.
That was in my commentary. I didn't bring it up, but that right after, and that's thanks to you. You keep plugging us every week on that. All right, so now it's 2-0. Yappy scores before halftime, and that really changes the complexion of things. 2-1. And then
do you want to talk about that goal?
No, we're going to go on. We'll move on. And
somebody paid you off?
No, there's a lot to get to here, and we're going to finish in 40 or 45 minutes, which
absolutely. Yes, we're on a time constraint. No, please go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, on to the third goal, which is significant for a number of reasons. First, it closes out the game. But second, it's created and then finished by Tylus Magno. And let's listen to the goal. Now, this is the English radio call. And for Magno, it's his first goal since July 17th, 2024 at Atlanta. And about 9 days later, he was off to Corinthians for 18 months. But anyway, here's myself along with Matthew Lawrence.
On the challenge, New York City recovers the second ball. Maxi Morales slips it to Magno. Here's the shot. Tylus Magno scores! Tylus Magno scores! And that'll probably do it on a Saturday night in the Bronx as New York City leads 3-1. And the Brazilian, 18 months away on loan to Corinthians, stepped into preseason, got a hug for Pascal Janssen. He got fresh eyes from Janssen and the new sporting director, Todd Donovan. And he produces here in a reserve role at New York City by 2 against Colorado.
Play me up front, Gaffer, and the goals will come, said Tylus Magno. And this is a brilliant run, diagonally in behind the two centre halves. And Maxi Morales lays it in on a plate. Perfect weight of pass, as we always say. And he scraps the finish a little bit, does Magno. But he finds the far side netting. It's a good finish. Doesn't strike it the cleanest, but it's all about the precision of the finish.
For Tyler Magno, it's his 15th career goal for the New York City Football Club. On July the 17th, 2024, Tyler Magno scored at Atlanta United. That was his last goal as a member of the New York City Football Club.
Wow. So there it is.
You
And-
cut yourself off there. My goodness.
Well, I mean, it was enough. Enough is enough. But yeah, it was a fun call because it's you're just kind of waiting for him, and the whole story is amazing. You heard Matty in commentary how he said to Pascal, "Put me up front and I will score," because that was the conversation that Pascal had with Tyler in preseason. Where can you help us? And you only have one choice, and Magno said at the number 9. So that's where he's been training. That's where he's been used coming off the bench, but he played about a half hour in this one, and his fitness level continues to increase. But imagine if he can provide that sort of quality off the bench on a consistent basis, get a spot start here and every now and then, maybe to rest Maxi, and you put Fernandez Mercado at the number 10 in those instances. So the possibilities here, again, without acquiring a number 9 in the transfer window, and there's still a few days left. March 26th,
5th or 26th? Yeah,
26th,
one of those two. Yeah.
26th, yeah. So what's today? The 20th. So there's a few more days, but I sense that, I mean, something could happen, and we didn't ask Pascal today, Roberto, but I sense that they're going to wait for the window where they have a better possibility to acquire somebody.
Yeah, I mean, the way the team is playing, and remember, Fernandez Mercado has 4 goals in 4 games.
Yeah,
so that helps everybody breathe a lot easier. I mean, if this had been a team that, only had a goal, or, like Philadelphia, the only goal they've scored is on a penalty kick so far. So, if that was the situation, then you're hitting the panic button a little bit, and maybe you've got to get somebody, and maybe it's not the ideal guy. But now you have the luxury, because of the way the team is playing, and then if he can contribute in that position, now you have the luxury of saying, all right, now we can just wait for our guy. And then also remember that once the World Cup is over, you get Alonso Martinez back, although, as we've mentioned before, we don't know what version of Alonso Martinez we're going to get back because of the fact that a lot of his game is based on his explosiveness and his first step, and, coming back from an ACL injury that, it takes a while to develop that. That's not coming back.
9 to 12 months. Don't expect much
Right.
from Alonso out of the World Cup break. Not just yet. Here's
Exactly.
Here's Pascal today about Magno.
And if you look back at the run of play also, that is so good to see for Thales, because his involvement in play is getting bigger and bigger and bigger every day, as you know.
The thing
Glenn.
I wanted to ask you, because he won a header,
Yeah.
which led to the second ball to Maxi, which then leads to
Yeah.
the goal. So he initially wins, was strong in the area.
Yeah, he's involved with this first challenge, and we get the second ball, and we continue our run of play forward instantly from that second ball. And Thales switches on immediately after the first challenge and takes on a good position. And the interaction between him and Maxi running of playing into the goal is something that that we work on quite a bit, because you see the timing of the run, the recognition of the channel he has to be in, and the finesse on the pass of Maxi is, everything is in sync, as is his finish. So the impact that he's having coming off the bench at the moment is quite good. And if I see how hard he works throughout the week in order to become more robust and even more fit, to have him available for more play time is something that is very good to see.
So, and he earlier also mentioned Maxi and Fernandez Mercado. So Maxi comes up in a lot of the conversations, and it really is, it continues to be a compelling story. Turning 39 at the end of preseason, or actually after the first game of the season, and then continuing to play as well as he has since he's been a member of the club, really. I mean, it's really remarkable.
It really is. I mean, he just gets better, as good Argentinian wine, same thing, just gets better with age. And the pass, the weight, the position of it, it was just perfect.
All right,
and
so
what you want to do with that is that if we remember what happened last year, he looked like at the end of the year he started to get a little bit tired and all that. So now that the fact that you've got Magno who can actually play the position, you can save a little bit of Maxi earlier, in games, and then you just have to drop Fernandez Mercado to the 10, and you should be fine.
Which is what's happened before this season too. Fortunately, not in that particular game because Maxi fed Magno for the So I had thrown this up from Corey Clayton, who it's a good question. It's interesting because I remember when Burke Risa was a member of the side, he could really strike a free kick, and I don't know if you recall, and he was working on them in training, and then he hit the crossbar in a game. I can't remember who it was again.
Almost shattered it too. It was
so best free kick taker. This is a question that I don't think is easily answered because it's probably considering Fernandez Mercado. We saw that he scored on that set piece, but he had two other free kicks from about the 28 to 30 yard mark, and he didn't have a whole lot of velocity on them. They were really comfortable saves. I'm not sure what he was trying to do. Can he zip it with a lot more drive and kind of a knuckleball in, on some occasions? I don't know. He's probably the best choice right now, but I wonder how, I wonder what you think, number one, Roberto, but we haven't seen Truin enough, but I like the way he strikes the ball. Aiden O'Neill can strike a ball, but can he put it accurately? Can he bend it when necessary? So I'm not really sure it's not Magno. And plus, he's not a starter. We got to look who from the 11 is going to take a free kick. It's not Ojeda. It's not Wolf. I don't care that Wolf scored that goal against Philadelphia. I don't want him taking my free kicks necessarily. And it depends on the angle too, right, Roberto? I mean,
right? Absolutely. I mean, that was a perfect shot for a left footer, and and that was good. So it's not going to be Ojeda. I don't know if Ojeda hits it well as far as that's concerned. I mean, right now it's got to be him, and Maxi has been taking some free kicks as well. But, I mean, New York doesn't have a quote-unquote free kick expert. And, I mean, they actually never had, even when Pirlo was here, because he was so far on the downside of his career at that point that, again, we mentioned he only scored one goal, and it was a gift. The best guy that New York City had was David Villa. And Villa had to cede his position to Pirlo when Pirlo came. And then all of a sudden, what was it, year 2 or 3, everybody started pressuring the coach. Why isn't Villa taking free kicks when we could see that Pirlo just doesn't have it anymore?
Yeah. So, yeah.
That was Patrick, by the way, Patrick Vera.
It's going to depend on the angle. So Hannes Wolf can take it at a certain angle. So I didn't mean to completely dissolve his possibility of. But I'm thinking, what I have in my head is straight away or slightly left of center, slightly right of center, where Giovinco. It was a penalty kick for Giovinco. He scored every time from like 22 yards. It was like a PK. So who is that? We don't know, and we don't know if there's actually one on the roster. So. Alonso Martinez not around to. But is it worked on in practice? And the question Corey had is we haven't really seen who might be able to do it based on.
Yeah, maybe it turns out to be somebody like Johnny Shore or Maximo Carrizo. That would be great.
Yeah, but you got to find somebody in your 11. I mean, those
for sure. But I mean, which is a reason why you went 66 games without a goal, and before that you went 75 games without a goal. I mean, it's 14 free kick goals that New York City has had in their history. In all competitions.
One a
14.
Year. Hey, what's wrong with that? One a year, man. We can count on one a year.
No, you can't.
you mentioned Carrizo. He's just been recently called up to the U18s during this international break coming up after the Miami game. Johnny Shore and Drew Baera will be in Spain with the U19s. Kai Truin and Aiden O'Neill, they'll be teammates again. With the Australian national team. Truin seeking just his third cap. Aiden O'Neill is starting in the midfield for them this summer.
Yes.
Truin has worked his way in, and this is really interesting. And look, he's a good player. I mean, from what we've seen early on. And then Matt Freese, of course, for the U.S. men's national team. And Roberto, I don't know if you were clued into this, but on the Today Show, our
I saw
Matt
that
Freese, when they unveiled the uniforms, Now, this is Freeze wearing the keeper kit. And then the Today Show hosts, please don't ask me who any of them are. I don't know. I watched.
No, neither do I, honestly.
Sorry, guys. But, yes. So
Hoda, I think, is one. I mean, I don't normally turn on the TV in the morning, so.
Yeah. So, but look at Matt Freeze. I tell you what, a celebrity, right? Now he's on the Today Show modeling and unveiling the keeper kit for the U.S. men's.
I like the ones on the. Actually, I like both shirts, but I really like the blue one.
Yeah, the blue one is the blue one's cool. The blue one is sharp.
I may have to shed some money for that.
Now, Roberto, I was fortunate enough to hang with Matt the other night, and I'm holding my book, Put It on Frame, and Matt Freeze got a copy. He was very excited because he had heard about it. And here we are talking about some of the key interviews in this book that I wrote. But Freeze he's a class guy and is great with supporters. You've been to a supporters event recently with Todd Donovan and Pascal, and it's great to see the lads out and about and happy because listen, when you win, it's a lot easier to smile, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. And engage with the fans and hang around and talk to them calmly and everything is fine. And, they're not, you don't have to worry about them burning your stadium down.
Now, I've got another photo. You know who this is?
Ooh.
Herman Bertarame. This is the $15 million striker that Inter Miami brought in from Monterrey, and he's a good one, but in 467 minutes, he has failed to score a goal. So what I've inferred from this photo is that he is spending too much time in the construction and the preparation of the new stadium, which will open on April the 4th for Miami. So they're going to be no more Fort Lauderdale. We're going to Miami later in the year, and so that'll be fun. And
so this week, Glenn, was the last home game that Inter Miami plays at Chase Stadium, which they already did and tied 1-1 against Nashville and got eliminated.
They did in preparation for this game on Sunday. I wanted to ask you, because you seem to know these things, well, at least at times you do. This Chase Stadium, this Fort Lauderdale Stadium, is it going to be a white elephant like the last one, or do they have a tenant? Is
they said that their second team was going to play there. I don't know how else they're going to use it, but that was the original plan, that they were going to keep it there for, Inter Miami FC 2 or whatever they call it. I'm not really sure. But the new stadium is going to hold 25,000, and it looks pretty sweet.
That's very nice. Well, Bertarame, the irony that I pointed out to Pascal Janssen today is that he's a multi-million-dollar striker, and New York City doesn't have a striker, but their number 9.5 is the way Pascal likes to call him. Julian Fernandez Mercado, as you said earlier, 4 goals in 4 games. A goal a game you'll take from any forward player. So striker or not, New York City's got the guy that's really produced pretty consistently. Now, the guy who's going to, or one of the guys that's going to have to cover Bertarame is the captain for New York City FC. His name is Thiago Martins. And yesterday, Roberto, he turned 31 years old. So in the press room today, we congratulated him about that and asked him about how he feels about being 31. Would you like to hear that?
Let's go.
Here he is.
For sure, I feel older. the first like the day of my birthday, I felt like, I woke up like, I'm feeling. It's already 31. But I don't know how many more years, but I'm treating my body the way like I can play a few more years, but I don't know how many years. Yeah, there's something like I always joke with the guys. I always joke with my parents, my family, my wife. I always said like when the strikers start to pass through me and I cannot catch them, it's time to stop and like finish career, because especially for center back, it's that's how I play. It's like when they start to pester me, it's like time to finish. But I'm working on my body to continue like that and to catch them and to run faster than them for sure.
He still runs. Boy, he's tracked down just about everybody that we've seen.
He's amazing on the speed that he has.
Yeah.
So we think, because I don't believe it's been measured, or if it has, it hasn't been shared with us. But we believe that he is the fastest person on the team as far as a 40-meter dash. But if you were running, actually, let me put this differently. If you were running 100 meters, okay, if you're running the 100 meters, then he's the fastest guy on the team. If you're running the 40, okay, then it's Agustin Ojeda.
Well, to put it more simply, Ojeda, he reaches the top speed at any moment in a game on the New York City Football Club, and he's actually in the top 5 in the league. That's why Pascal wants him to go. Get the ball, beat the defender, and get him behind, So
what we haven't seen a lot this year, and maybe we haven't, I just haven't noticed it, I don't know. Remember last year how often they played Route 1 to Alonso Martinez if they found him that if he was only being defended by one guy, how they would just kick a ball over the top and they would try to have Martinez beat the defender. I don't see that as much with Ojeda, who is now, a starter. Last year, he was mostly a guy coming off the bench. So I was wondering if we're actually ever going to see that, because there are very few people in the league that if they play a high line, that they're going to be able to keep up with Ojeda if they put a ball over the top and Ojeda has to run after it.
I'd say one of the issues, it's not an issue, that's the wrong word, but Ojeda is working so hard behind the ball as well. He's not often in that last line of defense position to make that run in behind. You'd have to move him into that central striker role and let Fernandez Mercado drift out wide to the right. We've said this in commentary before. That's not the worst idea if you're playing against a team, and Colorado's playing really high, for instance.
Yeah.
And then you just play it into a channel. So the times that he's gotten in behind, and it's happened a couple of times, is when he's made those hard-angled runs from the outside in, where you can play it kind of into that seam. But you're right. He's the only guy really that you can take advantage of that kind of pace with. But a lot of times it has to come a little bit more centrally, or at least inverted. But he's so far. He's those wingers. Him and Hannes Wolf. They work so hard defensively that they're not always in position on those counters, which is where that's where it really shows itself is winning the ball and then striking early. And he's not high enough.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if, at some point we're actually going to see it, because Fernando Mercado they can interchange into something like that, because Fernando Mercado can play very easily on the wing, which is where he's played most of his career. So if you get one of those opportunities and you see them playing really, really high or all the way up to midfield, and you can very calmly sort of switch them around, and then Route 1, baby, all the way up Broadway.
Well, here's a nice note. This must be to you, Roberto. I don't remember convincing anybody to become a season ticket holder, but if I did, Daniel Young, then you're welcome. But I assume that's Roberto. And then you followed this up, renewed season tickets every year since. Blessings to you and your family. And it's
so.
Nice.
Can you please can you send that to Brad Sims and?
Well, what's nice, but it's an affordable night out with your family.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's the other thing. And it's wonderful because and we recently were interviewed together by Mark Ernay, and he was talking about atmospheres or the sport itself, and it's just a different atmosphere. It's constant chanting and there's noise. It's not like going to a baseball game or an NFL game or a basketball game. There's noise in those things. If you're in an enclosed arena, of course there's going to be noise, but the soccer noise that's constant is really unique, and it's It's an
Especially
experience.
with all the singing and everything else, and because you have literally a supporter section. In all the other sports, you have fans, but here you have a dedicated supporter section that for New York City is somewhere around 3,000 between Templados, Third Rail, NYCFC supporters, and other groups, right, that compose the supporter section, and they're all singing for the most part all game long. So that definitely creates an atmosphere. But the other thing that's really important, and I think that the team doesn't emphasize as much as we should emphasize it more as well when we're preaching to people outside of the choir, which is the NYCFC fan base, is that it's such an affordable day out, even when tickets are expensive. Because, so let's say the tickets for Inter Miami on Sunday, the cheapest seat is $75 that the team was selling. And that is like a very high price, right? The highest price you're going to get all year for the lowest price seat, right? Because there are some games that are a hell of a lot less than that because they've got dynamic pricing. So with those games, even that, Glenn, is so much cheaper, okay, than a game that, let's say the Knicks, which I follow closely, and I try to go to games and I look at prices and I'm dismayed. So the last time the Knicks played was against Indiana, and they were missing half their team, and tickets came down to like $125 for that game per person. And it came down to that. But most of the time, tickets are over $200. And if it's like the Celtics, the Lakers, the Warriors, if they have everybody, then the cheapest ticket is $300. Okay? You want to take a family of four? That's $1,200. You want to eat food? That's $1,400.
So you have reinforced my original statement that it's an affordable night out at Yankee
100%.
Stadium, Citi Field, and beyond. Yeah.
100%.
Let's keep going.
Even the most expensive ticket, which is this one against Inter Miami, and they're expecting a sellout, which means over 41,000 people, which is what they got at Yankee Stadium the last time Inter Miami was there.
All right, well, looking forward to that. And MLS Cup, I want to just review a couple of things, and then we've got a request to talk about Tigres Cincy. So MLS Cup playoffs. This is great. So the season started on February 21st, Roberto. It's going to end on December the 18th in the MLS Cup final. 305 days, the 2026 season. Interesting. The best part, of course, well, I don't mean to say of course because that's insulting if people don't agree, but MLS has avoided the international break, and so there's not a staggered playoff this year. It's end of the season, international break, playoffs start and end. So it's week to week to week, and then that's a good one. The sprint.
So
season,
hold on. So no 21 to 23 day wait for the top seed, which has been an albatross for every top seed.
Then that's correct. Then the MLS sprint season. That's the one. That's the precursor to the changing calendar for the summer of 2027 when Etihad Park will launch. So there'll be a 14-game season. You play all the teams in your division, 7 home, 7 away. Then there's a single elimination playoff thing, 8 from the East, 8 from the West. I think that's too many, but I'm not going to get into that now. And then it goes from there. So that's the sprint season, starting in February and ending in May. And all right, let's get to the in our final, we're going to say 7 or 8 minutes, Roberto. CONCACAF Champions Cup. First of all, you mentioned Inter Miami and Nashville 1-1 the other night. This is the game that what were the words of Rodrigo de Paul? Tomorrow we play for our lives. I mean, they completely set themselves up to have success in this game, and they're home. And Nashville gets it done. So 1-1 was enough because of the away goal rule, which is not in Europe, but it is in CONCACAF Champions Cup. And Nashville advances to the quarterfinal. And then we'll get to Tigres Cincy in 2 seconds, Roberto, because there's some juicy quarterfinals. Toluca Galaxy, LAFC Cruz Azul, Nashville Club America, and Tigres Seattle. I mean, that's going to be fun.
Yes, and it's all, I love the fact that it's all Mexican teams versus U.S. based
Perfect.
teams. So
That's like perfect.
that is great. But the advantage, a lot of these games are being the second leg being played in Mexico definitely gives them an advantage. Although Patrick Vieira always said he preferred to play the first leg if he had his choice, he'd play the first leg at home.
Tigres 5. Cincinnati, by all rights, should have been the team playing Seattle in the quarterfinal, Roberto. But boy, so they go 3-0 up into Toluca territory. Tigres territory. Excuse me. And they give up 2 goals like in the first 30 seconds. I'm exaggerating, but it seemed like that.
First 9 minutes,
and
10 minutes.
Then after, Cincinnati they get tied up on the aggregate. Then they how did they went ahead.
They went down. So they were up. So Cincinnati comes in up 3-0.
I have it in front of me. Sorry, go ahead.
But I have it in my mind. So give me a chance to explain it. Yeah. They come in with a 3-0 lead. They give up 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. Survive the rest of the first half. They come out in the second half with everything to play for, and they allow 2 goals in the first 10 minutes again. So now they're down. Now they're down and losing. They're about to be eliminated. Then they get a free kick, and Denke, who is magnificent. He's such a good player. He's such a good and seemingly such a good guy. Gets a header, gorgeous header off the crossbar in. Cincinnati now, after playing like crap the entire game, gets a lifeline and they're going to be saved. But no, they're not. Because in the 97th minute, 2 minutes before the end of stoppage time, they again fall asleep on defense and allow the 5th goal, and that does them in. I mean, they were horrific.
It was Guignac assisted on the goal.
Yes, he did.
Which, he's 40 years old now. And honestly, when he came in, things changed.
Things changed
for the better. And
Gorriarán with a magnificent shot. But how are you letting somebody take a 20-yard shot?
So if I'm going to try, I'm going to read some Pat Noonan quotes. Pat Noonan, head coach, FC Cincinnati. So they've conceded. FC Cincinnati has conceded. This is incredible. 11 goals in the last 2 games. I didn't look it up. I kind of meant to see if AI could spit it out, but who's the last team? Maybe DC United that year. They were giving up 5 or 6 goals every game for like a month. But so Pat Noonan said, quote, "We looked scared to play. It looked like the pressure got to us based on the performance." When the coach
it was really bad. So they played an alternative team against New England and got smoked 6-1. But I mean, at the end of the 25 minutes to go, 60th minute on, they put a lot of their starters in to try to rescue it, and it still went bad. But the game last night at Tigres, look, I understand that Volcan sometimes can be intimidating. The fans are rowdy. The fans are loud. The fans are absolutely supporting, but they're not, going to attack you. You don't feel that you're going to lose your life if you win a game there, okay? There are other stadiums in the world where you feel we may need a police escort out of here, or we may need to be getting out of here by helicopter, okay? Because we're in danger. That's not the case with El Volcán. That's not the case with this Tigres fan base, which is fantastic, and they just will this team to come back and win. But I want to know what's going to happen now in Cincinnati, because that was brutal. That was just absolutely brutal to lose in that fashion, okay? Because everybody in that locker room has got to be questioning themselves. And Denke even said, our defense just didn't do it.
Yeah.
And he was very calm after the game when they interviewed him on TV.
Yeah.
He spoke, and he did the best he could to try to explain it. And, he was right. But, I mean, to watch that, and it was a slow motion train wreck. You knew it was going to happen. You knew it was coming. And it is horrific. I feel terrible for the fan base. And as far as the team is concerned, everybody's got to, as Denke said, everybody's got to look at themselves in the mirror and say, what the hell did we just do? And get their act together. And I want to ask you, because you're a coach, okay, how much of this do you put on the players? How much of this do you put on the coach?
Well, the coach has to take some accountability because the team was not ready to play. And they're coming off a concession of 6 goals. And what you have to do between that 6 goal, like you said, no matter who played in that game, if their 2-team played, if their U16 academy played, doesn't matter. The result was 6-1 to New England, okay? To New England. Yeah. And don't be telling me anything about New England yet because, they've still got work to do. So there's got to be some sort of confidence built between that point, and confidence and lack thereof was a theme in this post-game press conference. A lot of that is on the coach because individual meetings, how you treat, but it's you have to, the players have to be culpable too because of the defending 100%. Side. Like defending organization, coaches have to set those things up, but the actual appetite to defend, that first goal that they conceded was ridiculous. That was like against the mannequins in training where you go around the outside, play a ball across, finish, and then go back into the line. And and the players were all rotating. We've all.
It was a tap-in. Yeah, he was all alone. Everybody was a spectator. Yeah, it was. It was brutal.
It was crazy. All right,
they lost that game in the locker room before they even came out to play.
Yeah, they were not ready. They were intimidated. They wilted under the pressure, and that was all said by their coach. Cincinnati will play host to Montreal at TQL. So it is the supporters' responsibility because there was a question of Noonan, like, do you think you've lost the fan base? And to me, that's ridiculous for what he has done for that franchise. Absolutely ridiculous. I kind of think it's a ridiculous question. But if there's any semblance of that, shame on the FC Cincinnati supporters, really, because look what he did. They were the wooden spoon team. He gets there, and every year they get better. And I mean, and then supporter shield, and my goodness, he's.
I can understand if they boo the players, but don't boo Noonan. Right. No, seriously. Well, because the players have to feel a little bit of pressure too. I mean, we know that in MLS, it isn't like other sports. I mean, if this was Madison Square Garden and it was either the Knicks or the Rangers that laid an egg the way that happened, I mean, they'd be vilified by the fans the next game.
Yep. So Cincinnati at home to Montreal. So TQL, you guys are responsible. Is there anything else on here? World Cup. Really disappointing news. MetLife Stadium, you can't park there and you can't tailgate. And what I remember, one of my first dates with my wife, now my wife Mary, was Italy, Ireland at Giant Stadium, 1994. It was the opening game of the World Cup. 90% of the crowd was Irish, and they were all in the parking lot doing their thing. And what a great walk-up it was. Then they win the match. They beat Italy 1-0 in an upset. So it was just this unbelievable, the whole scene. So it really sucks out of it a little bit not to have tailgating.
Yeah, I was sort of naive. I had thought that was going to be like an all-Italy crowd. And, oh, my goodness, was I wrong. That was like 80% Irish in that stadium. That was stunning. How loud they were and what an atmosphere in that game. I was like mesmerized watching that. That was fantastic.
Yep. Hey, I forgot to mention, I'll just put this up real quick, only because that's me and Maddie, and I'm showing them my book, but it was Kate Marold, one of our staff photographers, that took the photo. And Kate, I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, but thank you. The photographers with the New York City Football Club, I know you feel the same way. I just really love and appreciate photos and how they're constructed. Yeah. It's art. It's artwork. and you have to have an eye, and you have to have the moment, and you have to understand the game, and it's just it's really it was really fantastic. So
And the social media department, the video department in general for New York City FC is fantastic. The job that they do, I don't know if it's Matias or Renee or Molly. I mean, they've got so many people that are just fantastic. Alex, I don't know who's putting all those videos together and all that. And I'm really appreciative of the fact that, they use your calls and they use my calls on all the goals. Those after movies are like just cinema. It's just brilliant.
Nice. Yeah, they're really.
They do such a great job.
Really,
so
cool.
Shout out to our guys there.
Yep. All right, and shout out to the boys in blue who will be hosting Inter Miami on Sunday. Let's see if they can, if they keep it unbeaten. They want the 3 points. We remember James Sands with the late equalizer last time at Yankee Stadium against Miami. Well, here we go again. And Roberto, I hope there are 41,000 plus in attendance, and putting the atmosphere into the Bronx and Yankee Stadium. Our airtime for Roberto and I, Roberto on the Spanish, myself on the English. Radio commentary is 12:45 p.m. It's a matinee, 1:10 kickoff. And then Matty Lawrence and I will be on at 12 noon Eastern with our NYCFC pregame live stream. That's going to do it for us. Roberto, wonderful stuff. I don't know what's ahead for the rest of the evening, but I'll see you on Sunday.
Absolutely. Bright and early. Got to get there. I'm going to be there probably like at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I may beat you there. Maybe not.
All right.
Anyway, thanks to everybody who's watching and everybody who wrote us here on the comments. We've read every one of them. Sorry we couldn't put out all of them. But we're going to be doing more of that. Okay. I promise you. I'm going to grab Glenn and we're going to put more of your comments out there.
What are we doing more of?
The comments that are here on the right side from the fans, like that.
Adios,
that says
Roberto.
Adios.
See you later.
Adios, Glenn. Adios, everybody.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast NYCFC Views on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.
That was